Hello, hello, and welcome to the Fairy Coach Tarot message. My name is Raquel. Thank you, thank you, thank you for being here. Today, I'm bringing you a pick a deck to look at our messages for the week, what the spirit advises, suggests, and what the energy forecast is for our week. We pick a deck and then we look at the beginning of the week, middle of the week, and end of the week. And we also keep in mind what is the phase of the moon that we will find ourselves in. So this reading goes from Monday, April 27, to Sunday, May 3rd. And we have a full moon on May 1st, on the Friday, May 1st, right? So we keep in mind that full moon of that comes Friday, May 1st. All right. Now, I have three beautiful decks today, and I am just noticing that I have actually put them in order of size. So you get to choose either the pink fairy, the largest deck, the blue fairy, medium size, I would say, and then we have the yellow fairy with the small deck. So let's ground, center, and connect through the breath, and then we pick a deck and we look at those weekly messages, okay? So roll those shoulders back, move the neck slowly and gently from side to side, right? And sit in a comfortable position. Hopefully you're in a place that you're undisturbed so you can connect with me and the video. And let's take a deep inhale in through the nose, feeling that belly get full of air. All right, hold it at the top for a couple of seconds and blow the air out, elongating that exhale. All right, feel the tension leave your body when you do that. And let's roll the shoulders back one more time. Okay, now without even thinking, just intuitively pick a deck or a fairy that calls you. Ready? Okay, let's begin with the pink fairy, the largest deck we have today, right? That, by the way, it's an absolutely stunning deck. Okay, all right. So let's shake it a little bit. And we set the intention and let the cards know what it is that we want. We would like guidance based on what the energy forecast is for our week. We would like to look at the beginning of the week, middle of the week, and end of the week, knowing that the energy of the moon is rising towards the full moon of Friday, May 1st. So please give us the messages as said in love and light for our highest good. All right. Let's see. Okay. Straightforward. One message for the beginning of the week. One message for the middle of the week. Oopsie. Okay. And two for the end of the week. The weekend when that full moon energy is happening. So we would say Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and here we have Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, right? So let's begin with the beginning of the week. And who answers our call? The Major Arcana 14, that it's the Temperance card, that is this angel that flows with things, that is patient, is kind, is tolerant, right? Things that are so needed, right? So, what is temperance telling us, right, or advising us based on the energies of that are in this week? And it's the energy also of the full moon that it's beginning to rise into that full moon. So, temperance is really telling you straightforward that it's about being more tolerant, being more patient, right? flowing with how things are going in your life, not resisting change, and not going into extremes. Temperance reminds us that any extreme in any area is not balanced, and because extremes are not balanced, they tip the scale one way or the other, they are not healthy for us. It also reminds us that we must be tolerant, right? Patient. And even if we do not understand something, we should seek to understand, and we can be respectful and kind, right? So, brings a message of tolerance, of prudence, of patience, right? Not only towards others, but towards ourselves. Whatever it is that we are going through in our life right now, is saying, be patient with yourself, be loving to yourself. It's reminding you that you're not alone, that you have always your guardian angel, and that spirit guides watching over you. And tolerance, patience, and kindness towards others and towards yourself. Flow with life right now. Do not resist anything that's coming. Just flow. Breathe and just say, I am flowing with life, right? That's very important right now. And what about the middle of the week? And for the middle of the week, we have the Six of Wands that answers what is the message. And the Six of Wands, it is first, it is the energy of the six, and then it is the energy of wands, that it is the fire element. This card usually depicts success, right? And things going well, and us walking into success after what has been a hard time. So, what is the Six of Wands letting us know? The Six of Wands is saying, be confident that things are working out for you. If you're living a period of your life right now where everything seems to be going well, the Six of Wands is just doing that. It's just reassuring, hey, the energies are going well. You need to be confident right now. Step into that confidence and not allow fear to shake the ground. However, if this is a time where things are not so fantastic, right? So there are things that can feel rocky. There are areas of your life where, again, as the card, Temperance card tells you at the beginning of the week, you need to flow. The Six of Wands is saying, right now, centering and being confident in yourself can make a big difference, right? And confidence is not arrogance. Confidence is just knowing that you have the abilities, the capabilities, everything to handle your life and handle everything that's going. So when we see the message of the beginning of the week, that it's this message of flow, be patient, be tolerant. And we apply it also to ourselves, not only to exterior circumstances. Here, that Six of Wands says, yes, be confident, be self assured that things will work out, right? And if they are going well, just do not let fear creep in, right? Now, let's look at when the moon is already full. So we're looking at Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, the end of the week. And remember, Friday we have the full moon. And here the who answers the call, the spirit of the Eight of Cups and the spirit of the Knight of Swords. And the Eight of Cups, now we're moving into the water element, that's emotions, right? And the Eight of Cups is having to release, having to walk away sometimes, having to walk away from things that may be hurting us, right? So instead of engaging in type of battle, here you see the Knight of Swords is to the contrary, right? So what is the Knight of Swords telling us towards the weekend? So the first thing that we need to remember is that the full moon is an amplifier of energy. So I try to bring this every time I do a reading on the full moon. So a lot of people say, oh, there is research or there is evidence that during the full moon, people tend to, be more emotional, be more aggressive. There are more accidents, there are more things happening, right? Other people say, well, intuition also gets heightened. It's not that there is more bad things or more good things, or no. What's happening is that the moon is an amplifier, right? The moon is showing us that light from the sun is reflecting, right? So it's an amplifier, reflects. So whatever you're carrying inside is what's going to be showing up. So if a person is in big chaos, is emotionally dysregulated, is having a tough moment with in a relationship or with a person and they are arguing a lot during the full moon, all that's going to be amplified, so you're going to argue more, you're going to feel more dysregulated, all of that, right? If you're driving fast, you're going to feel you're driving faster, things are more chaotic. Now, on the other hand, if you're a person that's calm, if things are going very lovingly in your relationships, if you are a very intuitive person and you are very grounded and very connecting with that intuition, all that's going to be amplified. So everything's just going to seem much bigger. So the Eight of Cups, all of this. Now, stop in the rambling, Raquel, and go back to the Eight of Cups. So the Eight of Cups is telling you that right now, because of that amplification of energy, that's the full moon, it is recommended you walk away from certain things, right? Anything that is causing pain, that is causing for you not to feel good, right? Because this is cups, this is emotions. So at the beginning of, I'm sorry, at the end of the week, towards the weekend, that would be either day, Friday when the full moon is in its full power, or Saturday or Sunday. It's about walking away from things that are hurting you, that are dysregulating you, or that are causing any type of chaos. So you're not so affected by that full moon energy, right? It says also to use discernment to choose your battles, because right now, if you go into action, into battle right now, in a way, that full moon energy is going to amplify arguments. So what this says is walk away from any type of arguments, use your discernment, and to say, you know what, I'm moving away from any type of chaos at this time. All right, quick recap. Begin the week with being tolerant and patient and flowing with life. And this is to be applied outside of you and in your particular situation, meaning in how you see yourself, giving that tolerance, that patience, that care, right? Reminding that you have spirit allies and flowing with how things are going, not resisting change. Now, the middle of the week, things seem to be energetically working out. It's time to step into confidence. If things are going well, do not let fear creep in. If things are not going well, be more confident that you can handle it. Towards the weekend, choose your battles, walk away from anything that's an argument, that's unsettling, or that dysregulates you. All right, I hope you liked your reading. Give a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and please share this message or this video so somebody can benefit from it. Now, if you want a private reading with me, please go to my website or my storefront at Camp Road, or reach out for more information. I offer private online sessions and pre-recorded readings. All right, let's move on to the Blue Fairy for those of you who have picked this deck. All right, for those of you who picked the Blue Fairy. All right, let's shake them a little bit. Get that energy moving, and let's set the intention. We would like guidance based on what's the energies out there, the energy forecast for us, what's guidance from spirit for our highest good, in love and light, looking at the beginning of the week, the middle of the week, and the weekend. All right. Let's get the beginning of the week message. Perfect. Middle of the week, we got 2 cards. And now the weekend. Alrighty. Okay, let's move things around a little bit. Okay, let's see the beginning of the week. And who answers the call? The spirit of the 7 of Swords, right? Here we have the air element. It is a 7, and the 7 of Swords is a little sneaky, isn't it? Right? And but right now we have to remember how I use tarot, right? I use tarot for guidance and for messages for spirit to protect us. So at this time, the 7 of Swords brings the message of one of protection. Do not trust everything you hear, right? And another type of message, and is that for you not to be deceptive to anybody, right? So it is a double message. The 7 of Swords is telling us, do not trust everything you hear. And here, because the Swords is communication, right? And it's also thoughts. So do not trust everything you hear, right? And also do not be deceptive towards anybody else, right? The swords can cut through and things that are not true. So it tells you right now, make sure that you use that discernment to get clarity, to find things. Do not also trust things that you think blindly, right? This is about having that discerning mind, being truthful to others, right? And not trusting everything you hear or you think, but using discernment, right? Wanting to have clarity before you act or you choose anything. So use discernment. Do not trust everything you hear or think right now. Instead, look for evidence. That would be the word. And also, do not be deceptive to others. You stay on your truth, you stay on who you are, and mind your energy and your karma. Let others mind theirs. You mind your energy and your karma. All right. Now, let's look at the middle of the week. And who answers the call? The spirit of the 2 of Cups and the 2 of Coins. Excellent. We have 2 twos. So look at that. All right. So the energy of the number 2 is an energy of partnership, is an energy sometimes of choice, right? And we have cups that it is the water element and coins that it is the earth element. And what these cards are bringing us for a message for the middle of the week is to make sure that the choices we make, the decisions we take, right, have these things. One is that we are choosing from love, right? So that any choice that we are making comes from the highest good, from wishing well, from doing good, from a vibration of love, but also that it is aligned with the things that we want, that we are not making choices out of love to please others, and at that time, at the same time, then we are kind of like, for the saying shooting ourselves in the foot. So make decisions out of goodness, out of love, right? Decisions that make your heart happy, and at the same time are aligned with the things that you want. If you make a decision out of love, it makes you feel good, right? But it contradicts towards where you're going, it contradicts your goals, or it hurts you in a way, then it's not the right decision for you. And if you are just choosing something for your advantage because it goes towards your goals, is doing well, but it's not vibrating with love, it's not for it does not make you feel good. It goes, probably it's because it goes against some values that you have. That's not the right decision. So the middle of the week brings you some reflection, right? Any choices, any decisions you make right now, they have to meet these two things. One is they have to come from the vibration of love. And you will know when you're choosing out of love, because when we make choices out of the vibration of love, they bring peace, they bring joy, right? They are calm. And so make sure you make the decisions based on that, but also not that do a disservice to you, right? It's still going towards things that you want, right? Now, what about the weekend? Here we are already looking at when the energy of that full moon is already going more intense, right? Because the full moon day is exactly on Friday. So, who answers our call? And it is the Six of Coins, right? I'm sorry, not the Six of Coins. My goodness, the Four of Coins. All right, it is the Four of Coins. And the Four of Coins, usually in traditional tarot, we see this person grabbing really tight, right, to the coins. And but what is the message? What is the guidance that is giving us this spirit, right? What is saying? Okay, I'm coming to give you advice for your weekend. So the advice that is saying is, be sure to protect the things that are important to you. All right. Be sure to protect the things that are important to you right now. This weekend is about making sure that anything, anyone that you care about is safe. So the things that are important to you, take good care of them, right? So it is not about holding tightly to things, but being more protective about them, right? The things that you want, right? So here, some discernment may come in, is saying, okay, if this is a goal I want, when you go to talk about it with somebody, can I trust them, right? Is it a good idea, or is it's not a good idea to say this secret, to say my goal, right? Or if it is people that you love, a relationship that you love, how do you protect that relationship? Perhaps not allowing outside influences in, right? So it's just to be in a more protective mode for the things that are precious to you. That's the thing. So let's do a quick recap, right? But before that, I wanted to explain something. So, as I always say during my tarot readings, I do kind of a spiritual guidance, I would call it, or spiritual coaching using the tarot, right? The tarot is a tool. Every reader or different readers may use it in different ways. There are predictive readers that predict future, right? There are therapeutic readers, the ones that do therapy with the cards. There are readers who use them for art, the tarot, who use them for meditation, right? And then there are those who use it for coaching or use as a spiritual guidance like me. So as I use them for spiritual guidance, and the reasons are, and I always want to explain, because I truly believe the future is fluid. What means a future that is fluid? A future that is fluid means that there is no set future, that life is kind of like a choosing your own adventure book, right? Your choices and your free will keep shaping your reality, right? And your future, right? There may be some fate and destiny, some karmic lessons that are gonna come your way, but you always have choice, right? That's the main reason why I do not do predictions, right? Because as a board certified coach, I want to empower you. So I do give you those psychic messages, that spiritual guidance, but always I say either homework or questions so you reflect and you make the best decision for you. All of this to say that I use the usually a Rider-Waite Smith based decks, and I use what I've studied tarot. I really, I'm a professional tarotist. I've studied tarot back and forth, and this is the style I choose. And I read and I know the meanings of each card, but I also use intuitive reading with it. So, for example, and the reason I'm mentioning this is the Four of Coins. The Four of Coins has a specific meaning, but here I mix that meaning with my intuitive message to give you your reading. All right, so I just wanted to clarify that for all you viewers out there. And let's do a quick recap because I go on my tangents here, and then let's do a quick recap of your reading for this week. So we have that at the beginning of the week, the cards are saying, do not trust everything you hear or everything you think, but use discernment at this time, right? Use discernment, observe, and be very factual of the things, and also do not be deceptive to others. You know, you keep your energy and your karma in check, right? And then towards the middle of the week, it's about making decisions and choices. But any decision and choice that you make in the middle of the week has to meet these two things. One is it has to come from the vibration of love, and two, it has to be aligned with things you want. And towards the weekend, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, when that energy of the full moon is at its highest, it says, be protective of anything that's precious to you. All right, I hope you enjoyed your reading. Give a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and please share the video. There may be somebody who can benefit from this message or needs to hear it. Also, remember, I offer private online sessions. You can be anywhere in the world, and we can do the session either via phone call or via video call, right? And we have different times. Can be a quick check-in of 15 minutes, a 30-minute session, or a 1-hour in-depth session. And I also offer pre-recorded readings that I do the reading and I send it to you either by video like these ones or audio, just for you based on your specific situation. Now, let's take a look at the last deck, the yellow deck, for those of you who picked this fairy. All right. Okay, so we have the the yellow fairy. Let's move these cards a bit, give them a little bit of a wake up because we're the last ones, and let's set the intention. We ask the cards or tell them what it is that we want, and we would like guidance for our week. For the beginning of the week, the middle of the week, and the end of the week. What is the message and the guidance from the divine source, from spirit, and for in love and light for our highest good? All right. Going from those large decks to this little one feels interesting in my hands. So let's see. Oopsie. Here we had one that jumped out for the beginning of the week, and now let's go to the middle of the week. And for the middle of the week, we got 3 cards. All right. And now let's look at the weekend. All right, end of the week. All right. So here we go. We start and we finish with a quick, one message, but in the middle we have these three. All right, so who answers the call? And it is the spirit of the Page of Wands, right? This beautiful Page of Wands. So, what is the Page of Wands telling us about the beginning of our week? And it's saying, all right, this week we have that increasing energy of the full moon, right? So, just like the full moon, that it's growing, growing, growing until it gets full on Friday, this page is saying, yeah, it's all about having that mentality of growth, right? And it is once it is that fire element, and is saying anything that right now is that important to you, that you're intentional with, right? But that you adopt that growth mentality, that wanting to do better, wanting to go to more, wanting to be your best version, wanting the project to be better, wanting the relationship to flourish. So it's that growth mindset that you have to adopt towards the things that are truly, truly important, that are that fire, right? Those ones, that fire. Because what happens is that the energy of the moon is growing, right? It's going towards that full moon. So it's waxing. So that whatever it is that you want. So ask yourself, here you have your reflective question. What is it right now that truly matters to me? What is it that truly matters? And then ask yourself, how can I adopt that growth mindset? How can I adopt a way that shows how much I care? What steps can I take? What can I learn? What can I do? Right? Answer these questions, be your own coach towards that. Because the energy of the moon is going to help you, because as you adopt that growth mindset, it's going to be infused with that energy of the full moon, and it's going to be the things that you want and that you care about are going to be more easily attainable. All right, let's look at the middle of the week. All right, so for the middle of the week, the answer comes from the Queen of Wands, so more wands, the Eight of Wands, more wands, and the Queen of Swords. Interesting. All right, so just to note, we have a lot of wands, right? That's a fire element, right? And we have two queens in just answering this call, and they are all minor arcanas. Okay, so what is the Queen of Wands telling us or advising us in the middle of the week? And okay, here we have that we have adopted that growth mindset, because we understand that with that energy of the moon, the things that we want by adopting this growth mindset and coaching ourselves are more easily attainable. But the Queen says, okay, you have that growth mindset. Now it's time to couple it, to bring it together with a nurturing phase, right? So you understand that you can work with this energy of the moon towards attaining the things that you want, right? And adopting a growth mindset towards the things that are important in your life. And here is where the once that fire element comes in. And the Queen says, okay, but it is also time to nurture it, right? To nurture things, to care for them, to act as a parent or as that motherly love, because it is a divine feminine energy. Nothing to do with gender, it's just the energy. So it's that divine feminine energy. So care for those things, nurture them. It's not only about adopting a growth mindset, but it is about nurturing the relationships, the people, the things that you want towards the middle of the week. You know, just the same way you would care for a plant or care for a little baby, you give it love, you give it attention, you give it time, you give it affection, you protect them, you care for them. That's what the Queen does as well, right? And it's a very impulsive queen, though. So it has that fire. So it is, we need to know that it is a very passionate energy. So it is saying, be passionately engaging in nurturing the things that you want. And the Eight of Wands says, okay, so things will take off rapidly, right? The Eight of Wands is that rapid energy that takes off. And here it says, okay, you're doing everything for things to take off rapid for you, in the sense that you've adopted the growth mindset. You're asking yourself how to keep doing things to grow what it is that you want. So the wants, what it is that you want, that fire, and you're nurturing it, you're giving it time, affection, attention. So things will start taking off rapidly, right? And then when that does, when you feel that momentum, is when the Queen of Swords comes in. And the Queen of Swords say, okay, now is when you're going to have to use your communication and your mind more, right? So as you feel momentum towards the middle of the week, as you have identified or narrowed down how to do things that that help you towards your objectives, so the things that you want, and working with that energy of the full moon, nurturing those things, there is going to be a feeling of momentum, right? Of things, okay, things are moving fast. And it says, okay, remember to use your mind and your communication in a way that aligns with everything else you're doing. So mostly it's about choosing the way you communicate to others based on these things that you want, whatever it is, that because it could be different from one person to the other, because this is a collective reading. So somebody may think, okay, what I really, really want, like that song from the Spice Girls, what I really, really want is something to do with my work, or my project. For somebody else, could be their marriage, or somebody they are interested in a romantic way. So whatever that is, here is about communicating your message in a way that it is, I was going to say assertively, because she is very assertive, this queen, but it's not only assertively, is clear, concise, right? So the middle of the week, just to a quick recap, because it's 3 caps: nurture, not only about a growth mindset and doing things towards obtaining this, but nurture those things that you want. Give it attention, love, be passionate about them, right? Feel that momentum going, and communicate clearly. Communicate assertively, but clearly, right? Clear and concise. And towards the end of the week, when we have already the full moon in its full effect, we have temperance. Wow. All right. How perfect. So temperance, like at the beginning of this video, I reminded you about that energy of the full moon, right? And how it is an amplifier. And temperance is coming to tell you, all right, we are right at the height of the full moon power here. So be mindful. So that means practice a lot of grounding, regulating your emotions, being patient, flowing with things. So it's about bringing your own energy down. So staying grounded, right? Because as I explained at the beginning of this video, the full moon is an amplifier. So whatever it is that you have inside you, it's gonna get amplified. So any fights will be amplified. Anything that that feels chaotic is going to be amplified. So you've been working towards the week, towards the things that you want, gaining momentum, communicating clearly. Now it's the weekend, and it says ground yourself, right? A lot of self-care, flowing with things, a lot of self-care, not fighting how things are. Grounding techniques, grounding energetic techniques, and self-care mostly. All right. So I hope you liked your reading. All right, give a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and share the video or this message as it could benefit someone. Now, if by subscribing, you also get notifications of the daily shorts that I post and the weekly videos. There is a different theme every week. So on Sundays, like today, we have the energy of the week. Mondays, we have work and career tarot. Tuesdays, we have love tarot. Wednesdays, we have messages from the oracle. Thursdays, we have a chakra energy healing type of reading. All right. And Friday, we have the weekend messages. And Saturdays, it's still in the works, but so I want your feedback, and please send messages or in the comments below. I am thinking about starting a series that it's live, where I go live and you can pick your card and I can do live readings for about an hour and see if you like this idea. So comment below. Let me know also what deck you picked or what fairy you picked today. And again, subscribe to the channel, give a thumbs up, and reach out. Oopsie. If you want more, look at that, fairies falling everywhere. More information on my private sessions or my pre-recorded readings. As always, it's been a pleasure. Thank you for being here, and brightest blessings your way.